In this scenario, I think your best bet is you wanted to at least start the planning stage. What I mean is you wanted to build a duplex, you don't know if you got enough cash, you don't know how much it's gonna cost you, and where do you start? I think that's your question, right? The missing part is you need to do the planning stage, because at the moment, even if you go to the broker, you're not going to be able to tell the broker how much I need to borrow for the construction loan. So if you don't know how much you need, then you need to get the planning stage started on your own residence. The first step is to do the market research. How many bedrooms? Is it upper end of town finish, or is it lower end of town, or is it going to be medium finish? We don't have to go into too much details, but just have a look at what's been building surrounding you. Taking that into consideration and get a concept plan from architects or draftsmen. Typically, to build a duplex, all of the DA consultancy cost might be around $25 to $35, sometimes $40,000. Depends on the complexity of the thing. Is it bushfire? Do you have to work out a traffic report? Do you need additional flood study? Are you close to a bushfire zone? All that sort of stuff. But it should be hovering around $25,000 to $40,000. That's including your architectural, engineer, and any private certified cost. It doesn't include council's contribution or any state government contributions though, but that's not going to be payable unless you want to start the building. So by doing that early planning work, you'll be able to have a good idea what is my structure look like, how big it is going to be. Is it going to be single story, double story? Is it going to be double brick or brick veneer, or maybe you want to do cladding, which is probably not the case in Sydney. And then with that preliminary work, you can go one step further to submit it and get approved by council or private certification. The more sophisticated the design is, the more the architect's going to charge you for it. But I don't think we want to go into that extent yet. It's just going to be some simple plans, making sure it can be approved. You can take that piece of document just to speak to a few builders. You're not going to get an accurate quote, but you're going to have a very ballpark figure as to where you're going to sit. You need to talk to the broker because they're going to tell you how much capacity you have left over. But even with that, the broker doesn't have anything tangible. The broker might say you have got $2 million serviceability left. But then to firm that up, the mortgage broker actually needs to submit your architectural drawings and whatever associated drawings, engineering, stormwater, landscape, whatever. They need to submit the whole set of the drawings to the bank, and then the bank will do a valuation on it. They're going to work out a cost estimate for you. Even if you have the 2 million capacity to borrow, if they work out the drawing and all the scope of working that might only worth $0.2 million, they're not going to lend you the 2 million. They're going to lend you based on 1.2. So that's the dilemma you have with the mortgage broker right now, that they don't have any to show it to the bank to work out a rough figure. At the moment, it's just you talking to the broker with your piece of land with the house on it. And the broker just couldn't give you anything concrete because you haven't provided anything concrete yet. Same thing with the builder. You might be talking to the builder whatever many times. You don't have a drawing yet. Every time you speak to a builder, my experience is the first thing they're going to ask you is, Terry, do you have your set of approved drawings? And if you are, I don't have it. Or do you have concept plans? Oh, I'm still working on it. They're not interested. So that's why I say, you got to start from your planning works, which is getting a survey done, then hire architects or draftsperson, and then you can have a sit-down session with them to work out what you can actually put on a block of land, because the building size on the block of land that you can build is relevant to the land size. So that's where you should start. And that's the part of work that we can help you with as well, because it's difficult. So imagine you going out yourself, trying to go all sort of different directions and trying to work out what you actually have to do next, push this whole project forward. The planning work can start early as possible, especially for your own residence. Both yourself and your wife is going to have a huge input on what you want to build to suit your lifestyle. And one day you might have an idea of just building this. The other day you might have an idea of building that, because people change their mind. And that's perfectly fine. But you need to start thinking about that early. That's right. It's really important that you understand, once you sign up with the builder, asking them to do your drawings, the full set of architectural drawings, in order to get your approval, you got to be really asking the question, okay, are these set of plans belongs to me, or are they belongs to the building company?
Yes.
Because sometimes you might sign a building contract with all of that one-stop shop thing involved in it, from planning to all the final finishing off. In the fine print, you might find out, should you decide to take the plan to somebody else, well, either it could be you can't take the plan to somewhere else, you have to go through with them. Or if you do want to go to another builder halfway through after you got your approval, they're not gonna release the architectural and the full set of drawings to you. What they will do is they might charge you for whatever, or they would try their best to keep you staying with them. Just be mindful about that. Asking those questions up front. That's right. And even if you have the planning stage done, you have all your approvals in place and ready to build, the package is only some architectural drawings, structural drawings, your basics, window schedule. It's actually still not a complete full set of documents. It's not a full scope of work ready to be tendered by builder. You still don't have all the finishes. You don't have a detailed kitchen drawings. How is the kitchen going to be finished off? Are you going to have waterfalls, polyurethane cabinetry doors, or polytack? That's just on the kitchen itself. The bathroom can go a lot more complicated, vanities and curved vanities and tapware, in-wall system toilet or standard toilet, semi-frameless shower screen or frameless shower screen. So that's why I say, even at that stage, you have the planning approval, you still need to finish your scope of work before you send that document to builder and ask them to quote it up for you. Because the information simply aren't sufficient for builder to quote. If you do just chase them down, give me a figure. If they do want to do the job, they will chuck in their standard finish in there, which you may or may not pay attention to. And if you ever sign a contract down the track, that's what you sign up for, then you can't change the fact they're just going to use some white porcelain 300mm by 600mm tiles, and it only goes to 1.8 meters high in your bathroom, because that's what you sign up for. So that's one of the specialties on my side, actually, because we did that many jobs over the last 10 years. I developed a full set of template. It is basically a list of questionnaires I need to ask you. Then we'll just tick the box. Do you want this? Do you want that? So all of that sort of detail will all be specified in my scope of works. And I've developed a questionnaire to facilitate homeowner or property investors to work through their scope of work. Once that questionnaire is done, that's basically a full set of finished schedules. Combine that documents along with your approved drawings and submit that to the builder for tendering. The builder is on the run all the time. They need to be on the job, push through the job to complete the job and get paid. Whereas you just on the side trying to ask them more questions, and to these guys, you just seems like you're not going to be building for another 2 to 3 months. Yes, it's crucial to build a rapport with builder, but guess what? With the scope of work that we produce, along with all the finishing schedules, you're going to have a much better rapport with multiple builders at the same time, because they like to have a full set of documents to quote on.